You watched Big Willie, Tommy Lee 3 times. Then you went overseas and watched Chris and Tessa. And now comes the next generation of the Men in Black.
Yeah.
Shut up, Beavis. Hey, Beavis, look at this.
Okay.
Hey, Beavis, look at this.
Okay.
Hey, Beavis, look at this.
Okay.
Hey, Beavis, look at this.
Okay. I am the Great Cornholio. I need TP for my bunghole.
Settle down, Beavis.
TP for my bunghole.
Hey, Beavis, once you go black.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming this fall to the Southland 30plex, Beavis and Butthead do the Men in Black.
Aliens suck.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Above Average Joe Show. This will be a mini episode for y'all, so we won't take up too much of your time. But I am your host, Joe, as always, and my special guest today is Julie Kitsulie. Julie, how are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. How are you doing today, Joe?
I'm doing awesome. I just ate dinner. It was one of the best burgers that I've had in a long time. Burger Jones. They have not paid me to mention it, but it was such a freaking awesome burger.
Sounds like a great burger. I'll have to give it a try one day.
Oh, so good. But you are here to talk about several different things because you've done a lot of different thid in the industry now.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun. It's been quite an experience.
But how did you get started in the industry? How'd you get your feet wet to begin with?
Okay, well, I guess it started whenever I was a kid. Since I was a kid, I was an artist and I loved entertaining people. I just loved to be goofy, make people laugh and smile, either with my art or putting on some sort of show. I wanted to make people feel things and make them feel good, and I loved stories. So that was kind of what started my career in entertainment. So I started to attend the Art Institute of Atlanta, and I decided to focus on animation because that had so much of entertainment that I really loved, like backgrounds, illustrations, character designs, editing, animating. It just had so much of that stuff, and comedy, of course.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then from animation, you've also worked on other film projects that are non-animation. How did you make that transition?
I guess that was still part of the entertainment. And plus, that also helped with my animation, but it just was my love of entertainment. So I've dabbled in quite a few things. I've entertained at kids' parties on the weekends it's been 12 years now since I've done that. I just love doing that.
Wow.
I've tried puppetry, magic, voiceover work, and as you know, working extras in films. So it was just all part of that entertainment. And I just love films and being in films and working on them and seeing them come to life. It's just so exciting.
And it keeps you busy doing all of that too. That's a lot.
It certainly does. It certainly does. And whenever I was freelancing, I was running a zillion different directions, doing all sorts of things. I would work all these part-time jobs, and it was all part of the experience too. And I found that doing all of these experiences also helped me with animation and all of that, because I would get those experiences and apply them at home working on my own projects.
And you also ran trivia for a while.
I did. Just last year, I was doing trivia. I was hosting trivia nights during the night. By day, I was an Atlanta tour guide where I would take people around Atlanta, showing them everything, which was a lot of fun. And I learned so much about Atlanta doing that. And then on the weekends, doing the birthday parties for kids. So
That is a lot going on.
Oh yes. I mean, every day was a new adventure, and that's who I am, is I'm an adventurer at heart. So, and I love all of those experiences, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go on adventures. I wanted to learn. I wanted to teach people, and that was why I wanted to experience all of these things. But as I said, that was running a zillion different directions, and I wasn't having a lot of time to focus on my own projects. So I've actually just a few months ago started a full-time job as a production coordinator at iHeartMedia, and now I can actually focus on my own creative projects in my spare time, because when you're doing so much for finance, just for finances, you're taking on so many projects, then it kind of can stifle your creativity.
Yeah. And one of those projects that you have been working on was the Xmas Files.
That's
which is the main one I wanted to talk to you about, because I am interested in this.
Ooh, the Xmas Files. Now, that was a lot of fun. The Xmas Files was a fun sci-fi Christmas story about a boy named Neil, and he was starting not to really believe in Santa Claus. And I know, but you have to believe in Santa Claus. I mean, how can he not be real?
Exactly.
So, yes, Santa Claus, but there's some other stories with this. As you know, it's the Xmas Files, which is a play with the X Files. And let's just say there's a lot of sci-fi elements such as aliens involved.
Wow.
It was very exciting. And I worked with a director from the UK. We had actually worked on a previous project. I met him whenever we're both Muse fans, and he made Muse parodies on YouTube. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, do you want to make a Muse animation together? And he said, sure. And that's what we did. We made Muse the animated series. Then later he comes to me and says, Julie, I'm writing a script for a Christmas story. Are you interested? And I was like, heck yeah, I'm interested. And that's what we did. He wrote the story, he wrote the script, and he would send it to me. I would make the character designs, and I would work on the animation. He would send me the storyboards of what he wanted, and we got voice actors, and it was just a blast. We worked for about a year and a half on that film.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of hours.
Oh, yes, yes. And some of those days I was working pretty quickly. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I did my own voiceover cameo as an elf.
Aw, that's
But
sweet.
it was a one of the mall elves, one of the mall Santas and mall elves. So I was saying hi to the kid and everything, and then he found out we weren't really Santa and the elf. Oh, I know.
Is that where the aliens come in?
No,
Wait, no, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Yep, no spoilers, but there is an original song in there that you'll want to check out. And
Can
also,
you give us the title of the song? Can you give us the title of the song without spoiling anything?
It's called Human Boy.
Okay.
And that's a really fun song, and that is where we get to travel around the world. And there is a cameo. You might see a big chicken during that scene. And I think we all know where the big chicken is. And he even comes to visit my house and say hello to my cats.
Aww.
It was very nice. In fact, I could drop a clip or drop a link somewhere.
That would be awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely get the link out for people.
Cool. Awesome.
And you also worked on another project, Versativa.
Yes, that was a lot of fun as well. That was with David Mitchum. I had actually worked on another previous project with him, and that project was called StopTad. It was just a really, really short thing, and it was called StopTad. TAD stands for texting and driving. And it was about this stick figure, and he would just get into trouble by texting and driving. The first one, he was, just texting and driving, ran into a tree. On another video, he was playing soccer with his friends. He wasn't paying attention, and he missed the goal because he was
Aw.
texting. So we worked together and we did a parody. It was an Oprah parody, and we've got really talented voice actors, and it was a big interview talking about the benefits of industrial hemp. It was very educational.
Watched it and I learned a lot from it, knowing absolutely nothing about hemp. So that was like my first introduction to it all. Other than hemp tattoos, I'd seen hemp tattoos before, but had never realized or had the experience and knowledge of all of the things that industrial hemp can actually do.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was really interesting. And that's part of why I love doing these videos and animations. I did a lot of research and he would give me a lot of information. And so I myself learned so much just working on that.
And then another animation that you had worked on, which you voluntarily worked on this one, Julie jammed on Java.
Yes, that's right. You found it. Julie jammed on Java. That is right.
What is that?
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. So one day I just happened to be on Spotify and I was like, I wonder how many songs have my name in it. I just wanted to hear a song that had my name in it. And I looked up my name and I saw Julie jammed on Java and I was like, wow. I do love Java. So I listened to it and I cracked up laughing so much that I looked up the band and I contacted them and I told them how much I loved the song. And they said that they were glad that I really liked it. And I said I wanted to do an animation. And they said that they were doing a little film festival and they were interested. They said, would you be able to animate something by this film festival? We'd love to show it whenever we go out and play. And I said, yeah, I'd love to. And I believe I had how much time I worked on it in the description on YouTube. I think it was like about 8 hours. I just blew it out one night. I was like, bam, here you go. But it's really funny. And basically the girl in it, she loves Java so much. And the girl's me. She looks like me with long hair. And the style, you'll notice the style is kind of abstract. I based that off of their album cover art. So I just took that and created the characters from that. And basically her boyfriend Jasper is coming up to her and says, you're paying too much attention to coffee and not to me. And at the very end, she ends up turning him into coffee.
Aww.
I know.
Does she drink him then too?
Well, at the end, we just see him getting brewed up. So it's pretty funny. And they said that they loved it. And I had a blast working on it.
She needs to add some sugar and sweeten him up if he's going to get so jealous.
I know, over coffee. He's like, you're paying too much attention to coffee. And then she said, well, coffee you shall be.
Is it weird when I first saw that title, I was thinking that Julie jammed on JavaScript? And I was thinking that she was programming.
Oh, that's funny. That would be another one. Maybe she's drinking coffee while she's doing JavaScript. Doing some programming. Now that would be pretty funny.
And then one thing I also wanted to talk to you about is to reminisce a little bit. Usually in the full-length episodes, we'll get into the Ready, Set, Life, Go machine, and we'll go back in time.
Ooh.
But being a mini episode, we're going to cut all that out. We'll just cut to the chase. Sorry.
So we don't get the ride in the time machine. We just get to teleport.
Yes, we're going to teleport to the set of The Change-Up where we first met.
Ooh, my goodness. That's been a while. How many years has that been?
I couldn't even tell you. I'd say it was about 10 years ago, I think.
Yeah, gosh, wow.
Let's do it.
Over a decade. Wow, change up. Mm-hmm.
It was on the set of it was supposed to be a courthouse. I don't even know if we were at a courthouse, but it was supposed to be a courthouse. I feel like it was a library, though.
Yeah, it probably was. That's right.
But I remember working there, and all we were doing was just crossing in the background, and they were such close-up shots anyways that you barely saw anybody that was crossing by to begin with. But at some point, I had sat down, and you, being the friendly, uppity person you are, you just came over and was like, hey, let's be friends.
That sounds about right. And we've been friends ever since.
And we have. We hung out for the rest of that day and stayed in touch, and we've been buddies all 10 years of it.
Yeah, definitely. And we've worked on some other stuff. I know we were on a couple other sets, and we worked on some of my animation projects together. You've done a voice in one of my projects.
Yeah, I was one of the talents in Versativa.
That's right. And you also made a cameo in Muse the Animated Series. We can see your Joe Cool shirt in there. So
It was a silent cameo.
it was. But it
Oh,
was
and with the Muse thing too, the band actually saw your video.
They did, and I almost fell on the floor whenever that happened, because I noticed that the drummer tweeted about it. He said, apparently this is how it all started, and he had a link. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is he talking about? And I clicked on the link, and it was a link to the animation. I was like, he saw my animation. Oh my gosh. And they seemed to like it. So even the frontman's mother tweeted about it. She said,
Aw.
wow, this is so cool. And I was like, oh my gosh. So, yes.
And for people who don't know, Muse is a huge band. This isn't like some small little group in Atlanta. This is a worldwide band, in case you've never heard of Muse somehow.
He was somehow, yeah. And I've been in love with them for, gosh, it's probably been 15 years now, since 2003. So was it 16 years now? And I'm still working on meeting them, but they have acknowledged me in little ways like that, or getting a wave or a handshake whenever he came down to the crowd. So
Aw.
I'm getting there.
Do they not sell like meet and greet passes that you can get, or are you just working up to that still?
No, they don't sell the meet and greet passes. Usually you have to win a
Know
contest or get lucky or that kind of thing, at least here in the US. So
One day. I know you're going to do it one day, somehow, some way.
oh, definitely. That's for sure.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get things wound up real quick. Thank you again, Julie, for hanging out with us. It has been a pleasure, as always. Every time we hang out is always a pleasure, of course.
It definitely is. I always have so much fun with you, Joe Cool.
And do you have any social medias that you want to plug on here while we got you still?
Definitely. You can find me online anywhere. Kitsulie, Kitsulie. Kitsulie.com. I am on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all of that. I post daily, mostly on Twitter.
Thank you for listening, everybody. And we are going to have another full episode for you next week. So stay tuned, and we will see you all in about 7 days or so. Thanks.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you again to our special guest, Julie Kitsulie. Be sure to check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitters, and look us up on Spotify, Stitcher, and iTunes. You can also check out another podcast I co-host, The Extra Unordinary, and some other great media content by Moon Possum Productions at moonpossum.com.
So, like, one of the band members, her name is Claire Kitty, and she is such a girly girl. And, of course, she's like a total diva, and she totally gets along with the girl named Peggy, who's on the keyboard. Hi, Peggy.
Yeah, whatever. Get out of here. I don't like you, Claire Kitty.
And then, we got here Becca Bunny. And Becca Bunny, she's on the drums. Becca Bunny, she's always got to watch these gals, because these gals, they just always button heads, and I got to watch them, and I got to tell them no, otherwise they ain't going to get my carrot cake, and I just love carrot cake. Madam Irie. And she's a spider who runs the bug library. And it's Estelle. Oh my God. Oh, I love you, Goyle. Okay, now, all right, now, Lena and Rita, no more with the pranks. I know you girls like to play pranks on me, and Peggy and Claire Kitty, you girls need to get along now, okay? All right, let's go.
That's awesome.
Will this call be monitored for quality assurances?